Yeah. Damn, kid, always down. While my chin always pointed to the ground. Hang my head when I'm walking around. I wipe tears from my face on my bathroom towel. Until a typhoon came through when I met you. Cloudy days, let the sun through. Now I smile at the sunroof, yeah. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Yeah. So I'm fighting for the honor, guts, glam, glory. Without you in my life, I'm feeling more less than Dory. You're everything I ever needed, way more than a shorty. When we're together, all the boring things aren't as boring. So you're the first thing on my mind when I wake up in the morning, and you're the only one I'm checking if you're seeing my stories. You're the reason why I work out. Gotta get what you deserve now. Best biceps and quads, the best sense in jobs, a new house, garage, a poolside massage, some new shoes, barrage, with anything that you wanted. You don't gotta work, just sip on a gin and tonic. And if you need a break, we'll take a trip to the tropics. God damn, you can't say I didn't try. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Maybe I'm stupid, ignoring the signs, but you're on my brain like all the time. It's true that even when I dream, just know I'm dreaming of you. Maybe I'm crazy, I'm out of my mind, but nobody makes me come to life like you. Said everything that I do, just know I do it for you. Yeah, just know I do it for you. Just know I do it for you. And I'm being serious. Snapchats, Instagram stories, even the freaking music, I really be doing this shit to him.
What's up, everybody? Alex Cuesta Show. Here we are. David, you're here. Hi.
I am here.
Welcome-
I'm here
welcome
for a little bit. Not too
You-
long, but I'm here
you
for a
are.
little bit.
You know, we'll use you and abuse you while we
Yes.
are here. We are going to do a short and sweet show today. I just did my previous show. I always got to give it a shout out. Talking and Nobles. Just got done doing that. If you're a trackie, if you're a fan of running and things like that, please go check it out. But do my quick preamble here. Just going to really mention them fast so we can get going. Epstein client list. Trump, do what you need to do. Kash Patel, get that shit out there. That's number one. Number two, if you can help in any way, shape, or possible for the victims of Helena Milton, and now also add the victims of the California fire, because they are fucking inept in California. And I don't care about the cause of the fire. They need to friggin' put it out or contain it or do something. And it seems like they can't do anything. I don't know what the percentile is, Dave. Last I heard, I think it was like one of them was 8% contained.
Yeah, so the Palisades, I'm pretty sure, is still the least contained.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not
so
sure
insane.
about the recent numbers. It might have gone up, but it's still not doing well.
Where's the Squirtle Squad when you need them?
I know, right?
Those cool fucking sunglasses. Just get in there.
Maybe.
Anyway,
I don't know if they do it like that, but either way.
I mean, that chick, that OnlyFans chick, did it like that.
Hmm.
Friggin', did you see she did over a
No,
thousand
we're
guys in
not
12
talking.
hours?
We're not talking about it. We're not talking about it.
Matt Santos coming in from Facebook. I'm live with the Alex Cuesta Show. Thanks.
You should
Matt.
be
Bye.
watching. You should be watching Raw, man.
But Dave, is Raw war anymore? Is it war anymore?
I actually don't know.
I don't think it is.
I
That
don't
used to be
know.
the
I don't
official
think it
title,
is.
Raw
I
is
don't
war. I
think
don't
it
think
is.
it's Raw is war anymore.
Raw is
Anyway.
Netflix now. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Raw is Netflix. Well, Netflix and Raw, baby. Netflix and Raw.
It is now.
That's gross. Anyway, so back to seriousness. For the victims, please, whatever you could do, you can send out there. Obviously, there's some different needs for each of them. People are about to freeze to death over in North Carolina, but over in Cali, people did lose everything as well. So whatever you could do to help out, please do that. Moms for Liberty, support them. I read an article the other day that attacked them, saying they're a radical group. So please be radical. Please support Moms for Liberty and make sure we get DEI bullshit at every level out of there. We are slowly but surely getting it out, but we need to keep our ears perked up and do what we can. So FEMA, make sure that they're held transparent for what they did to Trump supporters. And lastly, don't let up after the Trump victory. We got to keep going. Anyway, Dave, let's go. Quickest preamble ever.
Dead. I don't know about the quickest, but either way.
Hold
First
on,
story.
Santos asking an important question.
Oh,
Did we see the new Bianca Sensori pick?
no.
No. DM it to me, Matt. Maybe I'll put it up here for you. If it's
I have not.
if
I
it's
saw your
absolutely
reaction to
inappropriate,
it
let's
in the
do it.
group, so I know how you feel about it, but I haven't seen it.
I mean, Matt's all about like fake everything and makeup everywhere and Instagram posts. So
Wow, going after him.
called you out, Santos.
No reason.
It's listen, simp. That's all I gotta say. Trump train. Matt Santos coming in. Okay,
right.
Dave, what do we got going on here?
First story we have here is Biden promising to spend every cent of federal government money to cover 100% of LA fire recovery. Now, this is an interesting move from Biden, seeing as how North Carolina and oh my goodness, where else?
Nope. Well, North Carolina was affected.
And no, there's another
Well,
state.
East Palestine.
No, there was
It's not
another
like
state. Why did I forget about it? Either way,
Tennessee
seeing-
got fucked up a little bit. I
Thank
think
you,
it was.
Tennessee. Thank you. But seeing as how other states have been massively affected by natural disasters and they haven't gotten help still. There's many places-
$750, Dave. $750. Shut
There's
up.
still many places that have not gotten the help that they needed, but California is going to get 100% of their costs being spent on them. So I'm not going to go through this whole article unless you really want me to.
No, you don't have to, Dave. Matt sent us
Yeah.
a very healthy pick. No, Matt, we are not sharing this, but he needs to go to horny jail. That's all I have to say. Anyway.
But he
guys,
said the funds would be used for 180 days to remove debris, build temporary shelters, pay first responders, and much more. He insisted that California officials should spare no expense to do what they need to do, despite the state's leadership failing to manage its forests and infrastructure properly.
Yep.
And critics argue that California's overemphasis, I can't speak tonight, on
Come on, baby.
environmental restrictions and lack of proactive fire prevention measures have created the perfect storm for these recurring disasters. Interestingly enough that they said this, because I saw a clip of Mike Johnson being interviewed real quick while he was walking, saying, they shouldn't really be getting too much because it is their own lack of preparedness and everything else to really put them in this position.
So here's the thing. It's like, I don't think that we should turn our back on Californians just because they didn't do for North Carolina and Tennessee, right? Like, I wish that Biden would just be like, hey, I'm the dumbass you all think I am, but here, if we're going to help, we're going to help, right? If the federal government's going to help, it should be doing it all. Now, what I saw, I don't know who said it, but I saw it on X, and it rings true. He promised for 180 days. That's 6 months. He did it now as president. We know Donald Trump comes in 7 days. What is Donald Trump going to do? Is he going to rescind this? Is he going to just let it be there? Is he going to extend it? Is he going to expand it to North Carolina and Tennessee? And if you're Donald Trump, it seems like Biden is just trying to create more problems and headaches for Trump as he's on his way out.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What do you see Trump doing when he gets in and grabs this?
I'm not sure, mainly because he has other things on his mind for the first day he gets in, and things that he wants to get taken care of. So, I mean, he might cut a decent amount of this to do other things, because it's probably going to cost a lot of money, especially, I mean, I know Gavin Newsom apparently got rid of some of the bureaucracy of rebuilding homes and stuff like that, which is to say, why is it there in the first place if you can just get rid of it? If these homes can still be built safely, then why is it there in the first place? But I digress. Yeah, Trump, he's most likely going to do a little bit of something to this in order to get some of his tasks that he wants to get done in the first place. But I don't think he's just going to cut it out entirely.
I don't think you can, because I think that's a terrible precedent. Like, obviously FEMA's designed for this, or what's supposed to be, right? And it's crazy though, Dave, that Biden's like, we're going to put 100% every single penny. When what was the story in North Carolina with FEMA? We don't have enough money.
Yep.
We don't have enough resources.
Yep.
But it's like, okay, if the president could have just overrode it
Mhm.
and just said everything for California,
Yeah.
why couldn't he do the same for North Carolina? So it does beg that question. Trump has plenty of conundrums to face because Biden's just like, there's, where there's like, that was easy button, that was a commercial. It's like,
Mhm.
fuck you, Trump button. Fuck you, Trump button. Like,
Well,
instead of
yeah.
signing bills, he's just pressing fuck you, Trump. That's it.
And I think one of the things that this kind of, it doesn't validate, but it goes for the argument of people who are really annoyed at the fact that it seems like a lot of celebrities are coming out and saying about the things that happened during this fire, and then they seem to get everything given to them,
Yep.
while people who just try to work and live a life, if they lose stuff, they don't get any of this massive amount of help that celebrities seem to get. It seems to go alongside with that argument when Biden is doing
100%.
stuff like this.
Yeah, no, it definitely was where it hit. Like, could you imagine if it didn't hit SoCal, if it hit Northern California, right? Normal, like
Mhm.
normalish
Mhm.
California, and not a SoCal ritzy place where even in those suburbs, those houses are $1 million, $500,000. Like we focus on the celebrity area where the houses are 5 million and 50 million,
Mhm.
but it's hit a few different areas, right? These
Yeah.
are
Yes.
3 different
Well, there's
wildfires going on at one
Palisades.
time.
There's many fires. There's actually more than 3. There's
Yeah,
multiple.
there's a whole bunch going on,
But
and
Palisades one's the one that's got the most news because I think it's the biggest one that happened so far.
this doesn't even get into the fact that we don't know what actually caused this. Like, they're trying to claim climate change,
No,
but you
it's
have
most likely arsonists.
it's most likely
There are
arson. You have
some
so many
arsonists
celebrities
already.
coming out.
Yeah, there are multiple arsonists that were arrested for other fires and trying to start other fires as well. So it is most likely an arsonist.
Environmentalists, I'd imagine. It's probably environmentalist arsonists.
Well, maybe, maybe.
They're the
But
ones that do this
well,
type
no,
of shit to
I've
prove a
seen some of
point.
the pictures of the people arrested. I don't know if they're environmentalists or if they're just.
I
you
mean,
know,
most
just crazy.
environmentalists look homeless anyway.
But yeah, that's fair. But what? Oh, I lost my train.
Ruined
of
your
thought
train
there.
of thought when you were thinking of homeless
110%.
environmentalists.
Yeah, really. No, keep.
But overall, like it definitely seems like foul play, but they're trying to play up the climate change angle. But it's like you can't
Which
play
is
that up when this
that's
happened
that's where I was
under
going.
Trump's term, when this happened last year,
That's
there
where I
were
was going.
wildfires. It's like
It
you can't
happens
do this.
literally all the time. These fires happen all of the time. And the thing is, they've been exacerbated because everyone keeps saying it. People in California fucking say it, that they do not do any mitigation for these fires. They do not clear out the brush. They don't do any controlled burning. They do nothing
Nope.
that people have done throughout history to stop huge fires from happening because we
They
know
knew about this
they know
forever.
about the possibility of it.
And
So
also, though, Dave, you
Yep.
know something? They did a referendum to save a fish and let all the water
no.
go out to the Pacific Ocean.
That's the thing, though, and it's the same thing with like the fire chief being brought up because I heard you talk about her and all that stuff. But all of this stuff culminates to a bad position when shit like this happens. Because that thing about the fish would be perfectly fine. It might be stupid for people, but it would be perfectly fine if these huge fires don't fucking happen and you don't have a dime or you don't have water to do anything about them. That's the thing.
You look at what's going on in California, and it's like they didn't take a lesson from Lahaina, who had these environmental policies to limit their water use. And what happened when the fires burned through and people were burning in their fucking cars alive? Oh, sorry, we don't have enough water in the hydrants because our climate policy limits the water that we can use. And it's like California has a similar thing going on where they use policy. And this is always where leftism leads, right? This is where leftist policies lead. While there might be a small grace period at Kumbaya, right? Everyone's getting something. They always lead to disaster. And when disaster occurs, they have no answers. Like, this is insane that arguably our wealthiest state, like, right, California probably has like, I know that they arguably our wealthiest state
the
in terms of
Silicon Valley.
what they produce and shit like that, can't get this done. Like, they're definitely in the top grouping. Like, they're not, maybe not, they probably fluctuates, but that they don't have the infrastructure to get this done. And this is from rule, and it's like, it's not even like it's in a red area. It is a very Democrat governor who almost got recalled, which I don't know how they don't recall him again. Like, how do you not recall Gavin Newsom
They
again?
won't. They won't.
It's
And
it's
they won't give
Karen
it
Bass, who
and
was
they
in
won't give it
fucking
a Karen
Ghana.
Bass either. And that is one
It's
of the things that pisses a lot of people off about this stuff is that look, you put in these people, you've had every chance to get rid of these people. Their policies have been disastrous way before this.
yeah.
Way before this. And then you get promised 100% of the money to go
I
ahead and rebuild.
I
So,
agree. I do feel partially bad for the conservatives that are still left. 'Cause
yes. No.
Northern California is pretty conservative.
Yes.
There's pockets that are, and like they're fighting. They are fighting.
110%.
And I feel
110%.
bad because people are saying, "Oh, fuck California, abandon California,"
Mhm.
and it's not. I think it was Mally Mouse
Mhm.
over on X that's like
Mhm.
been like, "Hey guys,
Yeah.
we're not all like this. Stop
Yeah.
saying we all deserve this because we
Yeah.
don't."
Yeah.
There are people battling, and she's one of those people that is in the Southern
Mhm.
California spot that's like,
Mhm.
I am loudly a conservative here, and
Yes.
you need to stop saying we all deserve this
Yeah.
because I have family and friends that don't fucking deserve this. And
Yes.
it's true.
And that is
There still are
100
American brothers and sisters in the end.
110% true. Yes. But the thing is that when it comes to some of these people that speak out on like that have consistently basically fucking campaigned for Gavin Newsom,
Yeah. Oh,
basically
yeah.
do all these things for them. Like, I have empathy for the thought of the things happening, but I don't necessarily have empathy for the person in and of themselves, to be completely honest.
Agreed. The innocent ones that aren't the assholes, sure.
Mhm.
But yeah, these other ones. Let's get to some comments real quick. Matt Santos, my dad said that these California fires are all over the news in Portugal. I'm not
That's
surprised.
interesting. That's
I'm-
really
I'm-
interesting, though.
I'm not surprised because California, New York, Texas,
Yeah,
they're
big,
kind of world
big area.
epicenters, and it's
But
happening in LA, and
yeah,
LA
and
is a capital for Hollywood
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah.
So that makes sense.
Dude, how much does Portugal cover? A lot of like a decent amount of American news. I do. That is a genuine question I have.
I mean,
if you're still
Portugal,
here, Matt.
they just have soccer, so of course they have to cover everything else. Soccer and the fact that they're in debt and drugs. So it's like, of course, Portugal has to cover more.
Wow.
I'm an asshole. Sorry, Portugal. I like you.
Matt
You
also
listen,
saying too many drug addicts and homeless for it to not be arson. Yeah, no, I
and
can basically agree with
environmentalists.
that.
I'm not
Yeah.
gonna listen. I'm not letting the environmentalists off the hook.
No,
Because these are the
yeah.
same fucking people that spike trees to kill fucking tree cutters. I am 100% until proven wrong. It was an absolute fucking environmentalist attack until
Fuck
proven
it, why
wrong.
not? Oh fuck, saying they could have had Larry Elder they could have had the blackface of white supremacy. Larry Elder would have done a lot of good for California, a lot of fucking good for California. But you know, they have mail-in voting. I will
He
say
was
that.
winning.
I will say that they have mail-in voting. They have.
He was winning until that batch came in late.
Yeah. Well, no. Newsom ended up winning pretty handedly, but yet again, mail-in voting.
Yeah.
Matt saying Portugal is obsessed with America. That's interesting, but they only get CNN. Ooh.
I mean,
That's
we'll
a little
see. Discovery's trying to turn them
little
around,
rough.
so
That's
they
a
just need
little
to make a few
No,
other
it's still
round of
pretty-
like.
it's still pretty rough.
Listen. It's CNN. What do you expect?
Yeah, I was
okay?
gonna say they had Whitney Cummings on New Year's Eve saying the most sterile fucking shit now.
Like honestly, like she's like sitting there, like she's trying to get based.
All right, they're gonna turn the TV. No, they're not gonna turn the fucking TV off. Whitney Cummings. I watch enough wrestling. I know what kayfabe is, baby. Like anyone who knows this shit knows that you're just riffing on things that are normal to talk about now.
Yeah, no, she's about. Look, Matt saying, "What about Bianca?" Matt, we
Yeah.
are not putting the picture up, but it is very impressive.
Yeah,
But I do have to say, Ye puts enough of her up there that there is zero imagination left.
that is very fair. That is very
Zero.
fair.
So it's like a little imagination goes a long way. And it's like, listen, we all know what Sydney Sweeney looks like, but she's not always naked. So it's like, okay, it's still fun. With Bianca Censori, Ye is always putting her up naked on Instagram. So it's like there is nothing left to the imagination. Is it still fun to look at? Yeah. You still like Playboy, right? Like, okay. But at the same time, it's like I could just go online and do a quick Google search on my incognito, and there I am. Incognito is not great either. Don't use your work computer, people. Anyway.
Hey, sound like experience. I don't like that one.
Oh no, because I've seen it. Listen, have you heard the nightmares in it? Listen, you watch all the streams with the
That is
low
true.
cows.
That is true.
What do? They all use their work computers.
Oh,
Look
what
at the
about
most
Jeffrey
vile
Toobin?
porn.
I mean,
Yeah, they do. They look at the most vile porn, and then they go to share a screen, and it's a fucking gross porn they never got out of because they were gonna go swank wank after anyway. Like Dude, that's kind of
That's
my
fair
plea.
enough.
Don't be a
That's fair enough.
dumbass.
That's fair enough.
Get a
Matt's saying he
second
doesn't care.
computer. Get a
Matt's saying
wank
he doesn't
computer.
care about imagination, which is very fair. That's very fair.
I mean, that's true. All right, so I think we've expanded all we need to expand on this. Biden
I mean,
is
really, this is still a developing story. All of this is still a developing story.
the
at this
California
point.
wildfires are going to be raging up until fucking Vance takes over, it seems, because California does not care. So, like, it's and it's crazy to me though. It's like typically they get this shit under control when it's the most important people, right?
Mhm.
This just goes to show the incompetence
Yes.
because this is Gavin Newsom's donors and
Mhm.
he's letting their houses go fucking up.
Mhm.
Like, if he could, he would do everything he can to get it out immediately. But this just shows California's incompetence in that they can't do it.
Yep.
Not that they won't. So here's what Gavin Newsom, DeSantis needs to do. He just needs to send over his most experienced fire people and like send them over to California and let the Floridians just fucking take it out in like 3 days and then come back and just be like, Florida wins again, bitches.
Well, apparently Ukraine offered to send firefighters over. This is interesting.
What
Yeah.
are they, like 70? Their fucking young men are dead. Like anyone from like 14 to
fucking wild.
35 is dead from Ukraine, men.
Yeah, probably.
Like they don't have any men. Like Ukraine is going to not be a country soon because they can't reproduce. Like they're going to be the biggest
That's
people on like
fucking
fucking
wild.
Viagra and Levitra.
Yeah, well. Yeah, well.
Like they're just killing their whole young population. Like I don't understand why that they're just being dumbasses. Anyway, we're not here to talk about Ukraine's stupidity. We are here to talk about Biden's stupidity. But I'm done with Biden. He can go fuck himself.
Yes. All right. Next, we are going to move on to some gaming news. So
Yes, this one's we're gonna be moving quick here.
a lot of leaks have been going on for the
Oh.
Nintendo Switch 2. I don't know why that happened,
So big.
but a lot of leaks have been coming out. Most of them, none of them confirmed. None of them of what we know exactly, but looking like things that could be the Nintendo Switch 2. So lo and
And it's like
behold,
when you get it this close, you go to like some of your trusted sources, like the good ones.
Mhm.
And if they are supporting some of the leaks, then maybe there's something to be.
yeah,
But it's tough. Everyone's kind of being touch and go about this and saying, hey, we're going to share this, but we know nothing.
yeah.
We're just sharing the rumor.
And the thing is that now with all the leaks coming out, and I'm surprised no dead bodies showing up for the leaks because Nintendo, I wouldn't be surprised if they just drone strike people's houses. But
Could you imagine like a fucking Mario drone, like whoop, 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 jumping on your house?
makes a jingle when it hits.
They send the fucking mushroom, the flaming mushroom.
No, when it blows up, it blows up.
Oh,
as
no.
a mushroom.
Fuck that! It has to be Bullet Bill. They just send a ton
Yeah.
of Bullet Bill drones,
Yeah.
and they just fuck
Well,
you
actually,
up.
it'd be Bonsai Bill because Bonsai Bill's the big one. The really fucking
But it doesn't. The drones
one.
need to be fucking tiny and sleek. It
yeah,
can't be
that's true.
Bullet.
That's true. That's true. Either way, with the leaks coming out, people have been like, okay, if there's this many leaks coming out, Nintendo's probably pissed. So they might actually end up announcing it soon just to get it fucking out there. And now, according to Dexerto, right here, Nintendo are reportedly revealing Switch 2 this week. This came out just today via Nate the Hate 2. And I don't
Pull up
know.
that first picture real quick.
That's just a Nintendo Switch.
Oh, the regular. Okay, I
Yeah,
didn't know if they were gonna. I didn't know if they had any like.
No.
contact.
But
And this is like 5 months too early because weren't they gonna release it?
I don't know.
They usually like maybe they would have announced it in 2 months and released it in 3. Like
Yeah, I don't.
because they
I'm
were
not.
supposed to release it like in the middle of this year, I believe.
I'm not entirely certain. Honestly, I was surprised they didn't get it out by Christmas, but because I mean,
Nintendo.
and
doesn't
Nintendo's
care.
always a great Christmas gift. But I'm honestly not entirely certain about this reveal. Nintendo has been kind of weird around this whole Switch 2 nonsense. They haven't
have
even
been very
released.
weird.
They haven't released the name of the console. I mean,
I thought
is
they
it most?
confirmed it was going to be Switch 2.
They did not.
They
They did
didn't?
not. It's not confirmed what it is. It's not confirmed at all. Actually, Switch 2 seems like the very likely outcome. Whether or not you like the name, I don't necessarily love it. I actually do like the Super Switch. I go to Epic Mike on that one.
I do like this. What if they just come out though with they don't even come out with anything like the Switch. It's just another fucking brick console. And like that's
No,
been the thing. Like they haven't been talking about it because they're just fucking everyone over.
no, it's definitely gonna be another Switch because they need to. But apparently, leak wise, the specs are gonna be better. They're not gonna
Yeah.
be high. They're not gonna be high end. Like they're not gonna be PS5 stuff, but they're gonna be good enough to run a lot of games like the Switch is want to do. So I don't know. Do you think it's gonna happen this week? To be quite honest with you, I don't.
I don't think
it's gonna
anybody
happen this week.
forces Nintendo's hand. I think that if they're ready, they're going to do it. Like if they're ready, they'll be there. But if they're not ready, they're not going to. I think it's that simple. Like if they have something to show, if they have something to tell, if they're like, everything's buttoned up and put together, because they also realize they don't want to fuck this announcement up because this is
Mhm.
big. This is big. So Nate G coming in first with the fellas, and then sorry I'm
Hey.
late. I was arguing with Jonathan Coachman about Raw tonight.
That's awesome.
What the fuck were you arguing with Coach for? That's hilarious. That's amazing. So Nate, we will be talking about Raw later. I didn't get to watch it. I was
Raw
doing my
dudes.
other
Yeah, I
show.
was watching.
But David was doing some Netflix and Raw with his boyfriend. So
That's untrue.
we
That's
are
untrue.
going to talk about it. Well,
We
David's
at least
underneath.
strap
David,
it up.
listen, you're on your way to becoming Sarah, so it's understandable that you have a boyfriend.
Go fuck yourself.
You've been
Either
transitioning
way,
for months.
the Nintendo. I don't know because there's
I don't
so
think
many.
they're going to be bullied.
Not even bullied. It's just they want to be able to have control of what they're doing with their console, right? And I just find it interesting because there's speculation on what is going to come out with the console. Is it going to be another Mario Kart? Are we
Yeah.
going to get another 3D Mario soon? Are we going to get another Zelda? Like, what is going to happen with this console? Because there's so many things that they could decide. And to be quite honest with you, the PS5 has no games. Microsoft announced they basically fucking lost the console wars.
Dude, the Game Pass fucking is losing everybody money. Did you see that report that
I
the
didn't see
Game
that.
Pass has been hemorrhaging people money because they get the day one, but it has no staying power.
Yeah.
Like the Game
yeah.
Pass day one, they get
Yeah.
all their pre-orders,
Mhm.
and that's basically their player base. They don't fucking continue to like
Yeah.
rise. So
Yeah, that makes sense.
I didn't read the article, but I saw something like Game Pass is actually hemorrhaging developers money,
Mhm.
which is crazy to think, right? Because you would think of like Game Pass actually on its face seems like a pretty good idea. Instant
Mhm.
access, get it early. But also I
It's a
think
good idea for gamers.
but I think what's hurting these games so much, again, number one, it's good for gamers, and the
Mm-hmm.
gamers are not who they give a fuck about. The gamers are going to get it anyway. You want your
Mhm.
casuals
Mhm.
to pick up your games. That's number one. But number two, I think all this early shit's hurting games, like the beta and the early access. And it's, again, great for gamers who are willing to spend $120 when it's all said and done.
Well, the
Not
thing
great
is,
for mom and dad.
it depends on what your game is, right? So, like
Yes.
Marvel Rivals, like those types of games where they're dependent on online, they're dependent on how the game actually runs.
The live
dependent-
servicing
They're
games.
dependent on how
Yeah.
fucking OP some of the characters are. They want to figure those things out, So you hold the beta, you get people to play it, you get their feedback, you see it on social media and they're playing and shit like that. Like Concord held the beta. No one was playing the goddamn thing.
No, it was terrible.
So it was already telling of where they're. So the beta helps depending on what the type of game is.
Or hurts
And yes,
terribly.
yeah, and early access. Well, especially with the way like pre-orders work now, they're get the game early. No, that's when the game should have came out.
Exactly. Exactly.
But yeah, no, there's a lot of fuckery that goes on with gaming right now.
It's all propaganda.
Funny enough, while Nintendo does involve itself with some fuckery, it's a different type of fuckery, the main gaming stuff right now. Like, it's very interesting how things work out. But
Nintendo's always doing their own fucking thing. They really are.
Yeah, but like I said, Nintendo's basically the only one now in the console gaming sphere. They're basically the biggest one now.
And they went to handheld-ish. Like they've like fully went away from the console style where it's like their competition is now Steam Deck and that other one that fucking came out.
They went hybrid, right? They did a very good job with their hybrid. The Switch is a fantastic console. The only thing that's holding the Switch back is its specs. That's literally the only thing that's holding it back.
And you're probably getting like PlayStation 4-ish specs for the new Switch. More than likely,
yeah.
You're going to get PlayStation 4 quality. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to. But the thing is, though, you look at some of these side-by-sides with some of these PlayStation 5 games, and then it goes back to like PlayStation 3 games. Some of the PlayStation 3 games are rendering better because the thing is, a lot of these new games are including ray tracing and everything.
Mhm.
And there are so many TVs that they don't have that. Like if you don't have access to ray tracing, like your TV can't handle it.
Mhm.
Number one, don't turn it on. It looks like shit. Number two, it won't make a difference. And that's like one of the selling points is that they have all of these,
All these
frames per
huge,
second
yeah.
and the ray tracing. And it's like, but if I'm playing on my fucking 4K TV, that's not an 8K,
Yeah,
thing. Like it doesn't make a
the
difference.
thing is, a lot of things that
Mm.
are touted, they're pretty cool in and of themselves if you care about those types of things. But
Yeah.
really, what a lot of people are going to care about is basically the frames and whether or not the game runs well, because that's part of frames.
And is it fucking fun?
Yeah, yeah. So those are a lot of the major things that people care about when
Yeah.
playing a game. But I'm interested to seeing if the Switch 2 actually is going to get announced. If it is, what is it going to be announced with? Because you expect it to be something. I know Pokemon fans are kind of expecting the next Pokemon to be announced with the Switch 2 as well, because I believe that's Zeta A, and it's going to be like Arceus. So we'll
Oh,
see.
it might be decent.
Yeah, yeah.
Because if it's gonna be like RCS, because it's like one good, three bad. So I think they're on to their good one now.
but either way, we'll see about this. I'm very interested. I don't think it's going to be announced this week. I don't think it's going to be revealed. But if it is, we're most likely going to cover it at some point
I
because
just
I
think
am interested.
it is crazy for them. Like it makes no sense for them to announce it now. Didn't they have like their Nintendo Next or whatever, like 2 months ago, or whatever it was, their
Yeah,
Nintendo showcase? And
yeah,
they said
yeah. What the fuck?
not
Direct,
Nintendo Now, something
direct,
like
Nintendo
Direct,
Direct.
Nintendo Direct. They had it like what was it November or October? They had it, and
I can't remember.
they
It
basically
was
said
more or less recent.
And they basically said like nothing about the Switch 2 is coming out yet, and we won't. They announced there we will not see it until mid 2025 year. That's when they said like we're not
I
saying
can't.
shit
I
until
cannot
mid
remember. You
2025.
might, yeah, I
Because
can't remember.
I remember Side Scrollers covering it for a few days in a row because they talked about Direct, and a few of the
Mhm,
guests they asked about it with like Flash and stuff like that,
mhm.
and they were all like, we don't know shit about it. This is the
Yeah.
most buttoned up that anyone's been in the console wars for a long time,
Mhm.
and it's all speculation of one of the things that we heard about, well, we'll see is okay, it's magnetized when they put it back in, like the things
Yeah.
like that, because
Yeah,
people were
yeah, yeah.
having issues with the sticks. That would be and that minor improvement would be massive. But are we going to see a much bigger handheld console? Is it going to be a similar size?
So,
What
yeah,
is it like?
so it is.
All of it
From
is
what I hear, it's gonna be slightly bigger. There might be grips on the Joy Cons, which would be good to make them
would be
actually
great.
viable as a controller, other than if you're a little kid.
Is it going to
Um,
be that much different than the Switch though? Because one of the things that I believe it, and Yellow Flash guy talked about a few times was if it's not that much different and noticeably different, then parents are going to go, why would I buy that if that looks exactly the same and it's cheaper with the Switch 1? Like, let's just because the
see,
look makes a difference because the PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, 3, they all look different. So you could differentiate what they were. And then they gave you the Slim and which was very different. So it motivated people because your regular consumer parents are going to look and say, different console. Do you like that one, son? Okay, let's buy that one. Like, but if they see two same consoles, like, okay, the Switch 2 is just black and a little bit bigger. Let's get the cheaper one. Like, yeah, it's parents aren't as into it as we are.
yes, but you also have to remember these are different generations of parents now. Plus,
Yeah.
these are different generations of kids now as well. Like, so it can be pretty similar in order for you to be able to go and get it. Plus, there's so many more people know much more. Everything's so much more easily accessed. You can really figure these things out.
So
It's-
how expensive do you think this one's going to be? Because that's also going
The
to be
league was
big.
$400.
Oh, that's steep for a Switch.
Uh,
That's steep for a Switch. Like you would think of Nintendo and you want like Nintendo, you want to be around 250, 300, right?
Generally 300.
And that's
Like I said, the
well,
leak was 400,
that's
but
a
I wouldn't be
lot.
surprised if it's 400 because everything else has gone up as well.
Agreed. And like you said,
That,
they're on their own.
honestly, that is a small surplus of
Oh, listen, 400 is great for a system right now.
Yeah,
Obviously, with what's going on with PlayStation and
Yeah.
things like that. But comparatively, like you could sit there and Nintendo has always been so popular because you can get away with $300 at Christmas and grabbing a Nintendo, right? So it's
Mhm.
like 400. That extra 100 could hurt. It really could because that's a huge budget to take out.
I just think that with the way the Switch has gone, how amazing that system has done.
It's been fantastic.
It's the Switch
It's
2
one of
is
the
going
greatest systems of all time. It's
the
gonna be up
Switch
there.
2 is going to be bought hand over fist by damn near everyone
I
because
plan
it's
on
not
getting
just
one for my
parents.
kids.
It's not just parents getting it for their kids. It's going to be a lot of people that play games and around
Mhm.
my age, maybe a little bit younger, maybe a little bit older. Like that's it. Everyone, the damn near everyone's going to get it because how easy it is. You could either
Yeah.
dock it into the TV or you could take it out and someone else can use a TV. It's fantastic idea. Basically,
It's
what they
such a
tried
good
to do
idea.
with the Wii U in a lot of ways, but they damn near perfected it.
Oh, listen, I think it's crazy because I see people taking out like, when I was in Florida, and we would wait online, and people would take out their Switch
Yeah.
and would just start playing their Switch. It was small enough to fit in a bag, no problem.
Yep. Yep.
And they would just take out their Switch, and they'd be able
Yep.
to play a game on their Switch
Yep.
because they you can just download a local game
Hmm.
and leave it in there.
Hmm.
So, I mean, it's the Switch. So we'll see, because sometimes we gush about successors and then they eat it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
the PlayStation 2 is king, period. Like, there
Mm.
is no system PlayStation has ever made better than the PlayStation 2. 3 and 4 weren't bad. 5 has no games. 5 is doomed, right? So it's like PlayStation, while they won the console war against
Mhm.
Xbox, they might be fucking themselves because the crossplay has destroyed any exclusive and any
Yep.
fun that you had being a PlayStation owner, right?
Yeah.
So, and Xbox's balls, they're gone. So it's like, what are we doing now? Like, and
Yep.
it's we'll see. We'll see where we
It's
go.
an
I'm
interesting
excited for
spot
it.
for gaming because
And Steam's kicking everyone's ass.
yeah, we don't need to go into everything, but it's a very interesting spot
Yeah.
for gaming there. Did we hit up the Nate saying that he disagreed about the Penta debut?
No, so Nate,
That
he
is very
disagreed
interesting.
about the Penta debut.
I want to know what you're going to think
We'll
because
we'll get into it.
I'll get into it. But
It should be Pal World, not Arceus. Pal World's amazing. I wonder what that going on with that lawsuit. Have we heard like
I
what's
don't
going
think
on
there's
there?
been much movement on it. At
Because
least
Pal
not
World
from
doesn't give a
what I've
fuck.
heard.
They just keep on selling lights and licenses to everyone,
Yeah,
and to get more, and
I
they want
am
to make another
interested.
one.
I am interested in where it's going to go.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So Nate coming back in saying the Switch is king. Yes. Nate saying all 4 of my kids being born. What?
Yeah, no, keep going.
A Switch was there every work trip. A Switch was there. Oh, okay.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just it was a way for them to really perfect their way into
And it
console.
was a question mark whether or not it was going to be that successful, right? Because they kind of tried to compete with the Wii with making it a console with the sticks, and then the Wii U kind of flopped.
The
It
Wii U
really did. It flopped.
Wii U flopped huge.
So to go hard back into, instead of, because they got away, they're like, you know what, fuck this. It's not a console. It is a handheld that can sometimes be a console, but
Mhm.
the Switch is a handheld
Mhm.
that you can connect to your TV. It's not a console that you can sometimes pull away. And I think that's where they went, because their handhelds are the best, right? The
Yes.
Game Boy is amazing. They've been out of consoles technically for a long time, in a really in a weird way. Like the Wii wasn't necessarily a console.
Well,
It
now the
was
Wii was a
weird.
console, but it was a
No.
movement console. Yet again, though, the Nintendo kind of drives the market because
They
when
did.
the Wii came out, then you had PlayStation Move and a Kinect.
Which sucked, and they sucked.
Yeah.
And they were fucking terrible.
Yeah.
They were terrible. Like, they were awful. Like, there was no reason to get any of those. Like the Wii,
Yeah.
and the Wii eventually was like, too, because the games, like,
Well,
outside of like
it's
fucking Fruit Ninja and Wii Sports, they all kind of sucked.
was it Twilight Princess came out on the Wii? No, Skyward Sword came out on the Wii.
Skyward
I
Sword.
think Twilight did as well. Either way, but no, the Wii had its good games, but had so much goddamn shovelware,
It did.
and it just you can only do so much with those types of controls.
It was a trailblazing system, but not a good system.
Yeah,
I think that's a good, because it wasn't a great system.
yeah. I
It
mean,
wasn't. Like the
I love
GameCube
my
is
GameCube.
superior.
I love my GameCube.
GameCube
That's
is superior in every which
what
way.
I grew up with, so I love my GameCube.
Dude, me and you playing fucking Pokemon Coliseum for
Mhm.
doing the Battle Mountain
Mhm.
for how many hours?
I used
Mount
to play
Battle?
Melee like a motherfucker. There's so many,
Dude,
either way, we don't have to get into it.
no, we
because-
don't. We can go into gaming nostalgia left and right.
Either way, my prediction is actually not going to be revealed this week.
I want to go with you, but I hate you, so I'm going to say it's going to get revealed this week.
That works. Nate saying every work Zoom meeting, a Switch was on top of my computer screen.
That's
Yes,
amazing.
exactly, dude.
Don't tell your work people that. What the hell's
incredible.
wrong with you, Nate?
It's incredible.
All right, but Dave,
But-
let's get on to our last topic here.
We're going to go into
Something I know nothing about right now.
Monday Night Raw this week. Just happened. Literally just happened. You weren't able to watch it, like you said,
No.
because you were doing your show Talking in Ovals. Go watch that if you like track, or even
Yeah.
if you don't, you might learn something. But every Monday. But for me, I'm just going to show Penta right here, staring into the screen as a video plays of him doing his Sarah Miedo. But for me, this Raw was much better than debut last week.
So,
And
Dave, what do you feel about the Penta debut? Because the Penta and Chad Gable,
I thought it
I
was
I,
I
I
thought it
love
was
them
damn
both.
good. I thought it was damn good. I thought it was slow at first, and there was some ring rust from Penta. There was some botches and such, and some of the movement wasn't the greatest in the beginning of the match. But once they got going, they really got going. There were some great spots, and the match itself was pretty fucking good. And then they gave Nate saying Chad Gable job into an AEW mid carder will never get over is a travesty. I don't know about that, Nate. I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see, because they're actually trying to utilize Penta in a way that it seems like that they might actually get him over pretty well. I can see why you're so disagreeable about this, but I understand it.
He
He
barely
barely
speaks
speaks
English.
English.
Game over.
Asuka didn't either. Asuka still doesn't, and she's got very over. So I will say that there have been.
Hey, listen, and here's the thing: there have been people
Yeah.
that have been over. Tajiri really didn't speak English. Taka Michinoku didn't really speak English. Great Khali still can't fucking speak English.
Well,
It's like, and
Kali
Great
wasn't
Khali.
exactly over.
No, here's the thing: he was over as a gimmick, and then
Yeah.
when he actually had to wrestle, wrestling fans were like, "Fuck off." But he
But
was as initially as just a monster, just
Yeah.
doing a little bit. He had his moments.
but either way, I mean, if WWE is smart, this rivalry isn't done at all. Like, this is just the first match of many, because Gable and Penta can do some very good work in the ring together. Nate saying that's a woman. Shinsuke is still struggling. That is fair. That is very fair. Yeah, mid Carter.
Well,
You're
here's
right.
the thing, and here's the thing that I will say, Nate, in response to this. They're hyping up Penta now. That's fine. Mid Carter's okay, because here's the thing: if they can hype him up, him and Gable have a little rivalry. Gable puts him over, but we know Gable's gonna climb, right? He's too talented. He's a
And
great worker.
and
Penta
to
may
be fair,
he may stay in the intercontinental USA scene the whole time, but make it a competitive division.
yeah,
That's fine.
and
Or tag team.
to be completely fair here, while I think Chad Gable should be farther up, right now Chad Gable's a mid Carter.
Yes.
That's just the truth of the matter here. So it is two mid Carters going at each other at this point. I think Chad Gable has all the fucking talent in the world. He should be up there and within the talks of WWE champ, world heavyweight champ. But right now he's a mid Carter.
Now,
So
here's the thing.
yeah, go ahead.
Here's the thing, real quick, when it comes to Penta, because I don't know much. I gotta go back and watch Raw.
Mhm.
Why can't Dom Mysterio eventually be with Penta? Penta doesn't speak much English.
Well,
Dom is great,
yeah,
and they can
that's
kind of bring
storyline.
back that Latino heat type
That's
of thing.
That's
The thing is-
storyline stuff. That might be difficult because they have to do Judgment Day shit. So, but I get what you're saying. Pair him with someone that can speak English a little bit more. That's something.
So you're saying I'm just sick of Gable getting fucked. He's a
Understandable.
stud, and he's a modern day Christian. Here's the thing: I look at him
Understandable.
also as a modern day Ziggler. Listen, this happens with these smaller all-stars, superstars, right? There are very few that truly do. Your Seth Rollins, your Daniel Bryan,
Well, and
Bryan Danielson,
funny enough,
your CM Punks.
Gable coming out was getting "You Suck" chants. So very good. So, I mean, it's
Great character,
things
phenomenal
started.
wrestler. Yeah,
Yeah,
listen.
no, 100%. Nate, basically everyone. It almost seems I haven't seen people talk about wrestling and then say like, "Oh, really? Chad Gable doesn't deserve it." Like, it's the same sentiment here. But when it comes down to what they did, especially to start the card off after the promo with CM Punk, Seth, and Drew, to start the card off with this match, fucking great. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better debut if you're someone getting signed to WWE. The crowd was so goddamn into the match.
Yeah.
They loved them every minute of it. They loved Gable every minute of it. The sell on that destroyer was absolutely insane by Gable. So that's the thing, is that this is just a great start for them. Great debut for Penta. Whether it's going to go anywhere, we'll see. But this is kind of how you have to treat people when you're doing things in the WWE.
So I'll answer this one real quick. Nate saying, why is all ego Ethan Page NXT, but lower AEW Carter Penta getting over? Because here's the thing. Lower AEW Carter Penta is still a pro, because AEW, whether we like it or not, they have some really
Ethan-
good fucking wrestlers. They have really good wrestlers
pro.
over there. And
Ethan Page is a pro.
Ethan, but I
Ethan
mean,
Page is
in
very
term-
much a pro.
I
Well, no,
agree,
he-
but I mean, in terms of he was in a major promotion where Ethan Page was working his way up, right? That's what you get there, where AEW had already made it.
Ethan.
They already made a major promotion. So it's like,
Also, Nate saying we all knew it was Penta. I would have booked the Doctor Thugonomics. That'd be hilarious.
That would,
But or El Generico coming out. But the thing is, and I think this is also how kind of WWE is looking at NXT right now. While it is a developmental in a lot of ways, they want to keep people there that can keep people watching
some
NXT.
stars. Yeah.
Like that same thing of not calling up Roxanne Perez.
Yeah.
Roxanne was ready to be called up when everyone was fucking called up 110%.
Yep.
But they made that rule of like no chance could be called up because they didn't want her gone. They
And
needed that
also-
division to still be good. Same thing with Ethan Page going there. They need people to make that show good while also developing people. So
and to show the development guys how to do a good match too, because they're going down there and they're booking, they're doing matches, and they're there to beat them but put them over at the same time by showing them how to work. But number two, I think as wrestling fans, we get caught up in how many good, talented people there are, right? Like we all agree Chad Gable's fantastic, but there are only so many belts. There are only so many rivalries. There are only so many storylines that do we believe Chad should get his due? Sure. Look at Cody Rhodes. Cody, we knew Cody was good. You knew Cody was good when he was Stardust, okay? Like Cody has always been talented. Look at Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre has been good for a long time. But it's like there's only so many storylines they can go to. And if this is the one that, and the thing is, sometimes guys have to pay their dues. I was a big Dolph Ziggler guy. I love Nick Nemeth. I think he's one of the best workers WWE has ever had. He got treated like shit. Yes, he got the world championship.
Too. I love him
He
selling.
loved his selling. And I guess he got that world championship and he had a slight run. But once he was out, right? He became a jobber for the big guys. He was still a big name, but he was a big name jobber. Like he would go in there, put on a great match, lose. That was his role. It's like I thought Dolph deserved so much more, but there's only so many belts. There's only so many storylines that they could do. So yes, some of our favorites get fucked over. Look at Damian Priest. Damian Priest right now, he was on top. And where's Damian Priest?
No, well, he's actually he's doing pretty well right now. He just
agreed, but
he just had a great match tonight with Balor.
He is climbing back, but there's only so many things. Like they're doing. You can't sit there and not everyone we like and that's good can always be there. You need these good guys on the mid card to keep the depth. They need to be there sometimes.
And real quick, Nate also saying, I mean, I don't even need to get into the rest of the show because Nate's basically hitting it. Nate, my other gripe,
click on it, Dave. Click on it. Put it on screen, damn it.
My other gripe, why did Miz job Sammy? The dialogue set up a feud. And Miz is a champ. Sammy is not. You dirty finish this for Miz. And we were programmed that doesn't shit on WWE life for Miz. So that is interesting. Because it didn't seem to set up a feud at the end of the match. I don't know why. I think because they're kind of running the story of Miz and Karrion Kross. I don't know. I would have been interested in the feud there. But I'm not entirely sure what went on there. But they want to put Sammy over, and they're also doing the Sammy bloodline kind of. I don't know. It's a little bit mixed up there. I think they just kind of wanted the match to happen. I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it does turn into something bigger. I'm not entirely sure where that is going. So I completely understand what you're saying.
I mean, sometimes they just fill in a card. Honestly, I remember back when I was watching in the 90s and Raws
they don't necessarily
you would have your one shots
because. Yeah, but they don't necessarily need to though, because there is no time limit here. So the Raw debut went 3.5, a little bit over 3. This went 2.5. So they don't have any kind of time that they need to hit or that they need to stay under. Also, Nate saying, "Bro, South of Heaven sucks. Choke slams are for tall guys. Stop falling on your ass."
Tall guys in Hurricane.
Yeah, but I don't hate South of Heaven. I do think it's a weird looking move. Yeah, but I think it's supposed to be some kind of effect of them falling together, I guess. But I don't necessarily hate it.
And listen, not all finishers work, and they will change. If they're not getting a pop,
he's gonna keep doing South of Heaven. South of Heaven gets it enough, especially because he can catch people and shit like that, and it just works with his size. But everything else, especially because like the match tonight with him and Finn Balor was fun. It was a lot of fun. A lot of ridiculous spots for a Raw. A lot of going through tables. It was pretty great, actually.
Here's the thing: if this is the quality we can expect from Raw, which is like they tried to go 2 pay-per-view on the first one. It seems like they kind of got back to earth where it was more of like a low-level pay-per-view, like not a WrestleMania, but like a Backlash.
The Raw debut tried to do too much for people that are just tuning in.
Yeah.
That's what it did. It was weird. The matches itself were pretty okay for the most part, but they weren't incredible. And I don't know, it didn't flow like it should have when you've been watching this for a good bit.
Mhm.
This one felt more like when you're trying to put on a good Raw, this is what you were trying to do here.
And that's good.
Yeah. So at least that's how I feel about how it's gone so far. But the other matches tonight were good. Sheamus and Ludwig beat the fuck out of each other. They slapped the fuck out of each other. Sheamus is always fun to watch just because of the physicality of the matches he's in.
And again, I'll go back to that. Does Sheamus deserve to be not with the belt and mid
Well,
carding?
they're setting up the Intercontinental because
Agreed,
that's
but
Grand Slam.
stop it.
So,
What I'm trying to
I know,
get
I know,
to
I know.
is, but how long has it been since Sheamus has seriously been in a championship scene? He's been
Yeah.
he's been kind of just
Mhm.
working, putting on 4-star matches over and over and over and over. And it's like you need these guys because there is always the depth
Mhm.
of we have these storylines, but we need to kind of fill in a match here, throw Sheamus in with anybody.
Yeah.
And he's going to make it a good match because he's a great worker. So while we get frustrated that our favorite guys and our talented guys aren't in the championship scene,
Mhm.
you need to have those guys down there. That's just part of it.
Yeah, that's fair. Nate saying my opinion on South of Heaven is minority. I'm in a lot of wrestling podcasts. That's fair. But I know I get where you're coming from though, because sometimes it can look really fucking weird, and you suggest
And same back in my day, Broken Arrow from the aisle entrance was on one uncovered slam
That's
pad
fair.
table.
That's fair.
true.
It was still a good spot though. It was still a good spot. I'm not going to take it
I
away.
will say this. I dislike that the tables don't break anymore.
No, they do.
I dislike it's so much harder than it used to be.
Yeah.
Like they used to like sit there and like they
There's
used to
some
touch
broken
the tables and they would
There-
break.
There's some broken tables tonight. I'll tell you that.
Oh, believe me, but it's so much harder. They're so much sturdier than they used to be, and I hate it. And
Yeah.
where's the Spanish announce table? Damn it! They go through the Spanish one, not the English one. That was always the tradition.
Yeah,
You
no,
put them through the Spanish table, not
They-
and then you went to the American.
Pretty sure
table.
they have it for pay-per-views. I can't fucking call them PLEs. They're pay-per-views.
What is a PLE?
A premium live event, because they're not actually pay-per-views anymore. So they went away from because they can't call them a pay-per-view if you're not actually paying for it. So it's a PLE instead.
It's a pay per view. I don't care.
I know. I know. I call it pay-per-view. But overall, I like this Raw. I thought it was much better than the Raw last week. I thought it was one I could enjoy like a motherfucker. I'm actually not going to spoil it if you're going to watch it, Alex.
You could spoil it. I will watch it in pieces. I'll probably be done with this Raw by 3 Raws from now.
I'm unhappy that Dakota Kai didn't win the Intercontinental Championship, but I understand that.
Oh, Lyra won?
I do like Lyra as well, especially because she's a newcomer. She's pretty hot right now, so like I get it. I wanted Dakota Kai to win, but I saw from the way it was finishing, it wasn't going to happen. So whatever. But overall,
You can't go wrong in the women's division right now. It's so fun. The women's
For a
division
lot
has
of-
so many
yeah.
good workers.
Yeah, but like I said, overall, thought it was a good show. I really enjoyed this one.
Now,
I'm hoping they can keep it up in some type of way.
Compare this show to some of your favorite shows from Raw when it was on like USA and stuff like that.
Oh man, that's a little difficult. I mean,
Well, because it's just terms of quality and what they're
You want-
putting out on Netflix as opposed to what they were putting out on cable wise.
Production wise is good.
Yep.
I think production wise is good. I think it's fine. It works like it's supposed to. It's a little weird being on Netflix. So the way it works on Netflix is that if you pay for the Netflix with ads, which it's a whole different conversation on subscriptions that have ads, but if you pay for Netflix with ads, you will get ads.
Mhm.
But if you pay for Netflix without ads, you get a little bit more, either more ring stuff or they cut to like promos. So like one of the cutaways, they actually cut to New Day hitting a promo and stuff like that.
Which is pretty dope.
So it is interesting because they basically took some of those backstage promos and put them behind ads on
Okay.
Netflix instead of kind of forcing them into the show on USA and stuff like that. So it's it's an interesting way to do things.
Which is bizarre because that's always been part of the show and part
Yes,
of the tradition that it
but-
cuts right back into it.
But the thing is, with social media now, those can get blasted out very easily and get seen
That is
by
true.
everyone anyway.
That is true.
Plus, the fact of the matter is that on Netflix you can do those things, and when you did them on cable TV, it actually took time away from the rest of the show that you could be using for other things. So that's kind of how they're working it. it's an interesting switch up because they're getting their big promos in, but their backstage ones that set up smaller things, that's the ones that they're putting behind ads.
So, in terms of storylines, how do you feel that they're doing right now? In terms of transitioning, keeping the storylines that were already alive coming, like making new ones. How is it?
I do want to
How
hear.
is it going, and how is it flowing?
I do want to hit this real quick. Nate agreed with you.
Thank you.
So
I'm
100,
always right.
100. And he said Lyra is smooth in the ring too. Lyra is very good in the ring. That's the thing. Like, I'm not disappointed that Lyra is the first Intercontinental Women's Champion, but I want it to be Dakota Kai. Either way, I think they're doing pretty well so far. The CM Punk on Seth and the CM Punk and Seth stuff is going on still a little bit, but it's mainly set up for the Rumble. So CM Punk, Seth, Andrew are also going to be in the Rumble along with Roman and Cena. So they're making this a pretty big Rumble. Also, I saw this. I forgot to bring it up in the group. The Rumble, I believe, for both men and women are going to be 40 participants this year. I
Ooh.
don't really like that.
No, why?
I'm going to be honest with you.
Why
I don't
so
like that.
many?
I feel like that kind of makes it a little bit overbogged, and you can't. There's not a lot of those big moments that happen in the ring when it's 40 people.
And on top of that, like it takes away so much tradition because it's been 30 man for
They've
how
done
many
40 people
years?
before. They've done 40 people before. What
It's
fucking year was it? It was a
too
while ago.
much. It's too much.
It was a while ago, but they've done 40 people before. Either way, that's going to be the Rumble this year, which is interesting. Don't know if I love it, but storyline wise, it's pretty all right. They're trying to set up a little bit of stuff with Rhea, but not too much right now. I don't know. I think Io's her next opponent, but Nia Jax came out and said something, and Bailey helped Rhea get her out of ring. Whatever.
I do love Io. I think Io is so fun.
Yes, yeah, and that will be a fucking great rivalry. Unfortunate thing is that Rhea most likely wouldn't drop it to her, even though I'd want her to have the belt.
But I don't think they're gonna make Io look weak in it.
No,
So I
they
think it'll
won't.
still
They won't.
propel her, and it's gonna
Yeah.
be such a nice juxtaposition because Io's so fucking energetic and crazy.
Mhm.
Where Rhea is, like I said, Rhea's the China they wish she was in the 90s.
Mhm.
Like she does everything they wanted her to do and more because she's just it's nice to see Rhea back with the belt because to me, she is currently probably the best female wrestler right now in the company.
Yes.
And it belongs
I
on
think
her
you could say it's
waist.
her.
I think it
I
belongs
think
on
there
her
might
waist.
be arguments, but I think you could say it's her.
Yeah, I think there's definitely arguments because the quality is incredible right now.
Mhm.
Like, right, like you could say that nobody would have been mad if Liv kept the title against Rhea.
Mhm.
Like, because she has gotten like this has made her into a better wrestler.
Mhm.
100% the rivalry.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Nate's saying can't wait for Cena to win. He's winning the Rumble for sure. Honestly, so I will say this. I said this to Alex. I said this in the group when he first said he was in the Rumble. I said I don't think he's winning the Rumble. I think he's going to be final 2, and he's going to have another way to get into WrestleMania.
maybe.
But honestly, the more and more I'm seeing things, the more I'm watching things, the more it's like the storylines are building out. I'm like, I kind of think he's winning the Rumble. Like I'm being kind of convinced on
And
it.
here's the thing though, when he doesn't win it, it's great fucking storytelling.
Yes,
Like I
yes,
said,
yes,
they
yes.
were loosely televising the script and then
Yeah.
they're gonna flip it. And like I said, the way my prediction is he's going to win his 17th before WrestleMania and he's gonna drop it and put somebody over. Maybe Damian, maybe it's him and Damian.
No,
And Damian
He'll
wins
drop it
or
to someone
something.
else. No, but
But I think he'll
I
go
don't think
into
that will happen.
WrestleMania as a champion.
For me, if you want Cena to go out in a fucking great way, I think it's Cena versus Gunther at WrestleMania. I know a lot of people have been saying it, but I'm on that train as well. I think that's a fantastic.
Are you
I
not gonna
think
give him his 17th title?
You
You
just-
need to, you have to
don't
do
need
it.
to. You don't need to.
Yes, you do.
You don't
Yes, you do.
You don't
Because
need
here's the thing. If you don't, all the work Cena did with keeping this company afloat was for nothing. And you
Dude,
need to
it's
reward him. You need
dude,
to reward
his
him.
reward is this run he's gonna have. Are you
No.
kidding me? He gets to have
No.
fun. Like
He
gets to
needs
have
to
fun
go
for
down
once.
as the most winningest champion in the history.
I get
Even
it.
though we all know Cena's not the greatest wrestler of all time. We know that. He's
Mhm.
not the best champion we've ever seen. We know that. But they need you would do this flowers if Stone Cold, if The Rock,
Yeah.
if
And-
any of them were that close, they would get it.
And hold up, I want to get through these, but
Let's go for it.
please have a Dr. Thugonomics run. I would love it. I hope he does come out at least.
He's
at some
not going to
point.
heal.
Those.
He's not going to
Yeah,
heal. He
there's a
won't
big
heal.
deal. Well, no. Even
won't
if he
heal.
just come out in the clothes.
Maybe, but he won't heal.
Yeah.
He won't heal because of the Make-A-Wish stuff. He won't
That's
do it.
true. Him versus JBL and Eddie. Holy cow! Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Jubble. We
But
don't say JBL here. We say Jubble.
and he's wrestling. Is he? He might be. Is he wrestling? Yeah, I guess he wants the full year run, right?
Then
So
if
he
he's
is-
wrestling past Mania, then he can get the belt at Mania and drop it later. But
Yeah.
man, I mean, maybe they do it. Maybe they storyline it and he beats Gunther, and then Gunther just beats the fuck out of him for like 9 straight Raws, and then
it's like the suplex city that Brock had on him. Where he just beats the
like
ever
he's
loving
gonna
fuck
be
out
a
of him.
winner, and he's just gonna maybe that'll be his heel turn, this final run where he just figures out ways to survive via DQ every time versus Gunther, and then eventually it's a no holds barred and Gunther fucks his day up at a whatchamacallit, at another pay-per-view. Like maybe that's how it goes.
Oh, he's finishing out. Oh yeah. You're right. He's finishing out
Yes,
20.
he's
I
finishing
can't.
out 25, so it's gonna be
I'm
past
dumb.
Mania.
I'm dumb. I don't know why I thought WrestleMania was late. I'm my bad. Yeah, you're right. He's finishing out 25.
Then
But
maybe he gets in, then Gunther just
that also
skull
reminds
fucks
me
him
of
for a
bringing up
little bit.
Gunther. Gunther came out to talk some shit, as usual, and
I love Gunther.
Jey Uso came out to challenge him to Saturday night's main event, World Heavyweight Championship. That should be a lot of fun. And like I said, I'm amazed at how over Jey Uso is. Like every time he comes out, that the entrance pop is fucking crazy.
Here's the thing: you give the people what they want and let Jey win.
No, he's not going to win.
Here's the thing, though: when you think he's not, wouldn't it be a better storyline
it would be
if
crazy
Jey
if he
comes
does.
in and wins, and
It would
then
be
Gunther
crazy
goes
if
on
he
a
does.
rampage?
It would be crazy if he does, but he's not going to. I'm going to let you know that right now. It's going to be some other way that Gunther drops the belt. Gunther is too big of a thing right now for him to drop it on a Saturday night main event at this point.
But if he's going to drop it, dropping it to Jey is not a bad thing.
It's not a bad thing.
Storyline going.
One full year, one last time. Yes.
That's the thing.
Right.
It's like if you're going to drop it to somebody, to have them go back and forth would be fun.
Cena thing. I need to rethink everything Cena now because I'm a fucking idiot.
So he's going to win at WrestleMania, and then it's going to go on.
Maybe.
He'll get 17 at WrestleMania, 100% then.
Or somewhere else. I don't know. They're gonna do something fun with him. Hopefully, I'm trusting Triple.
He's winning the Rumble and he's winning WrestleMania. Here's the thing: sometimes the best thing they could do is do what you want.
Yes,
do what's expected and do it well.
But that's not always how WWE does things. So that's not how they always do things. So I kind of expect some weirdness with WWE.
Some fuckery.
But funny enough,
Jeff Hardy's coming back at WrestleMania and he's going to win.
You see, Jeff Hardy did want to come and go against CM Punk.
Oh, Jeff Hardy's coming back to WWE.
He wants to have another CM Punk.
I think him and the Hardy Boys are coming back.
Maybe.
I saw that rumor heating up and more saying like that Triple H. Here's the thing. Triple H, the one thing I like about Triple H, where Vince had numbers blocked, Triple H keeps I think like bat numbers for certain former superstars. That like if that red phone rings, he knows it's Jeff. Like I feel like he is so open to all the former superstars coming back. And I think it's gonna be like Jeff peeing a cup every fucking time you step into a stadium. Like, period. Like, and here's the thing, if Jeff Hardy's clean, he right away is in the main event. Because he is so much fun.
Yeah, but he's the issue is that Jeff's old, so he doesn't do things as well as he used to. He's fun, but he's lost a little bit of it. Now he can have some really good spots, but he has lost a good bit.
If he's hitting a swang tang bang on anybody, we're in good shape. Okay, it's all about the swang tang bang.
It's after what they just did for next Netflix debut, baby faces all around. They got to lay up Cena. You're right. I can see it. RVD and Jeff Hardy outside of WCW guys, biggest what ifs. Yes.
I mean, RVD was never going to get over being an ECW guy.
Yes, even though RVD was incredible.
He was.
And that one night stand with John Cena, incredible.
So good.
But
Jeff was his own self-destruction.
Yes. And funny enough, Jeff recently talked about that. I can't remember where. It must have been, I think it was on some podcast. But he recently talked about how he feels like, if he didn't fuck himself up like that, he probably could have been as big as Cena.
Him and Cena were developing such a rivalry before he fucked himself up. Oh, listen, if he didn't do that to himself, it would absolutely been him and Cena going to war all the time.
Jeff Hardy to me is wild because Jeff Hardy is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time, especially growing up around that. You're going to love Jeff Hardy if you're a kid most of the time. But the thing is that Jeff Hardy is such a weird case because like the man doesn't really have promo skills.
No.
The man gets all of his energy from in-ring stuff because of how actually fucking crazy he is and how much fun it was to watch him wrestle.
And the thing with him is too, like it to me all the time, it was always weird seeing him singles. Always, always. It felt wrong
Mhm,
watching him be in singles. As talented as he was,
mhm.
as good as he was. Now, I'm one of the rare people that I loved Willow. I loved his Willow persona in TNA because you want to talk about promos, when he was in Willow mode, he could hit a promo
Mhm.
because he had that darkness to him. And maybe it's because he was high as a fucking kite, but he he had that darkness to him that when he came out as Willow in TNA, and again, he was still Jeff Hardy when he wrestled. Like
Mhm.
he still swang tang bang people. He still did the
Whisper in the wind
fucking
and
twist of
everything.
fate. Like that was all still there. But it was just like honestly, if he comes back, he should just come back as Willow. Willow
Nah,
and fucking delete
He'll
Matt.
come back as Jeff. He'll
I
come
know,
back as
but I like Willow.
But Nate saying he was over in 06. Nobody was more over in 06 than RVD. That is very fucking true.
Oh,
But
it's
then he got
true.
arrested for weed and perks with Sabu a couple days after one night stand. Yep. Yeah. Him and Matt version. Him and Matt version 1 Matt was amazing. Yes.
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 Yeah. Yeah. No, listen. I slapping a tornado is a fucking feat. That's all I gotta say, Matt
And
Hardy.
that is, I will say, that is one thing that WWE is lacking a bit. It's getting a little bit better right now because with DIY and my
Remember
God,
the fun Matt facts? Yes, the fun Matt facts were
yes.
amazing.
And Motor City and everything. With the tag team division is getting a little bit better, but the tag team division that we had back then was fucking insane.
Well, Dave, that's because you had main eventers.
Absolutely insane.
Because you had main eventers where you had people. That's the thing with the tag team division back then. It wasn't a bunch of tag team people wrestling. It was a bunch of people that maybe were young and raw, but you knew were main eventers eventually, or belt holders of some type. Like
Well,
the
and the thing is,
Dudleys, Devon and Bubba were
what
so
that's the thing
good.
though. You had the
Test and
Dudleys.
Albert, TNA was
Yeah.
so fucking
Yeah.
good.
You had the Dudleys, you had Edge and Christian, you had the Hardys. And whenever they had matches together, you didn't know exactly what to expect. They were going to do something fucking insane.
I don't think there will. This is my argument. Maybe it's because I'm biased. The original TLC match between the triple tag TLC is the greatest wrestling match in the history of man. It is up there, and maybe it could be tied. Maybe it could be tied with the Hell in the Cell with Undertaker and Shawn. Undertaker and Shawn's Hell in the Cell is
fucking
up
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
But I still think the spots, the way that all 6 men quite literally mangled and destroyed themselves, and tell me you will find maybe the only clip that is better than Jeff Hardy swanton bombing from 40 fucking feet from the ring outside is Mick Foley getting tossed off the fucking Hell in the Cell. It's probably the only other moment, or getting chokeslammed through it on the
Shane
tag.
O'Mac jumping off the Tron.
Shane O'Mac was a good
Shane
one.
O'Mac is some crazy fucking clips, my dude.
You,
But
okay,
no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I
But
get what
overall, as a match, there was not a dull moment in that 6-man tag. There was
Mhm.
no lulls because when one people got tired, you went to the next and they fucking destroyed each other.
Mhm.
I mean, Kane and Undertaker with
Yep.
the Brothers of Destruction.
Yep.
Even dude, Rock and Sock. The
Yeah.
Rock and Sock connection
I do
was
want to hit this real quick. I do
amazing.
want to hit this real quick. Viking Raiders to War Raiders, what an upgrade. Yes, especially because those two are fucking good. Especially as
Yes.
big men. They're fast as shit. Their athletic ability is insane. So yes, great upgrade. Great to put the belts on them too.
See,
because they
what's
can have that
nice about the tag division now,
match. Now,
it's not just New Day and everybody else, because New Day was the best tag
it was
tag
New
teamers in the
Day-
Usos.
New Day, Usos, and then
And then everybody else. And there was no other reason to put anybody else in any main events because they all were just so lacking in
Mhm.
terms of talent.
And then, nothing will touch the Attitude Tag era. Edge and Christian, Matt and Jeff, Kane and Undertaker, Hall of Fame.
Even into
obviously-
Ruthless Aggression. Ruthless Aggression had plenty of great tags too.
Yeah, it had good tags, not as good as Attitude Era.
No, but Attitude Era is the best era of wrestling of all time. And it's not close, particularly.
It's
Rock and Sock.
insane looking back to like those tag matches are fucking crazy too.
Well, I think even the jobbers were over in the Attitude Era. The Job
Mhm.
Squad, Right to Censor, like all of the jobber groups. The 3-man band was Ruthless Aggression. 3-man band was Ruthless Aggression,
and
but they were over.
Yeah. And the Creed brothers are so sick. Yes. The Creed brothers are fucking great. And they need to get some really good motion to tag matches because I don't know how much you've seen of Julius.
I
and,
haven't seen, no.
dude, they're fucking great. Brutus, I remember correctly, yeah, Brutus Ball. Yeah, Julius, fucking great dude. One lanky ass boy, not lanky. One big boy, taller boy. One small cannonball boy. And they're strong as shit. They're with Gable right now in a faction. I
Okay.
think it's American
Okay.
Hate or whatever. But they're fucking great, especially tag wise. They're strong as hell, man.
See,
It's almost like the Steiner Bros, except they have the tall, slimmer, and then smaller, stockier kind of motion with them.
all I know is that wrestling's in a good place when jobbers are over. And that's what Attitude and Ruthless Aggression both had. Nobody was like, dude, fucking Zack Ryder was one of the most over wrestlers, and he never won until that one world championship. That was amazing.
And Chelsea Green apparently wants him back,
Dude.
which is, of course, I mean, it's her husband. So, but yeah,
Come
she's
back.
like,
But did you see Alexa Bliss is scheduled to come back?
yes, I know that.
Which is going to be fun because they should just have a hot. They should just have a hot blonde off.
Bliss is coming back. Becky should be back soon. So
Dude,
interesting things are happening.
Just give me
WWE.
her and Liv for like 6 months, and I'm a happy guy. Okay. Tell me her and Liv going at it. Number one would be great wrestling, and number two, no one would watch the wrestling.
You're ridiculous. But I will say this. Since you brought up JBL, they announced JBL to show up on Raw next Monday, which is interesting because I don't know how much you've seen of this, Alex, but because I follow some wrestling stuff on Twitter, I get things from here and there. But JBL has been showing up on indie shows recently.
He's probably getting ready to come back to WWE.
Not even getting ready. Like, he's doing little appearances here and there. But I am interested in just, he's just been around, and like, I don't know what they're setting up with him. I don't know if he's just going to show up and say some random shit, but I do think he's actually going to be involved in a little bit of something, not wrestling wise.
He could come back into the and they might bring him back into the the announcing. He's an announcer for a long time.
No, unless they have someone that's going to leave soon. But no, I don't think they're going to do that.
Well, what do they have? They have on SmackDown. They have Wade and
Joe Tessitore.
Tessitore, which you're not getting rid of Joe Tessitore. He just signed.
Yeah.
But what if Wade? He's hurt, right? He can't get back into the ring, or can he?
He can't.
Okay,
well, they've been teasing shit, but I don't think he can. I don't think he can get back.
But then again, Edge couldn't either. Stone Cold couldn't either. Shawn Michaels couldn't either. Bryan Danielson couldn't either, right? So they rehab and they find their way. So I could see him replacing Wade if Wade gets back in.
Yeah, but
that's the plan.
He's on Raw. That's the issue. JBL's coming back on Raw.
Okay, he can come back on Raw.
He's saying hi on Raw.
he could be told to fuck off and then go to SmackDown after he says hi, right? That wouldn't be surprising. I don't know. I could see him.
Yeah, exactly. Nate's saying JBL's been fucking every indie promotion up for 2 months. I'm stoked to see him. He was a great heel. It's a fantastic heel, JBL.
Honestly, he was the best heel.
Fantastic.
And heel. To think he is the same guy that was in the Acolytes is you can never imagine that like you would think it's two different Bradshaws.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
But then you see the clothesline from hell and people go inside out and it's like that's the same exact clothesline from hell.
Which, I mean, we haven't seen like that kind of. I mean, like Sheamus and Drew and Gunther can do a lot of aggressive shit, but like that clothesline from hell, man, looked so vicious. Like you could see why it was a finisher when he hit that clothesline.
What's crazy is too, it's like he went from being the badass motherfucker on the Acolytes, that country boy that no one fucked with, to the cowardly wealthy guy that was an opportunistic piece of shit.
Like this guy's huge,
and he's a big pussy.
He's a coward. Yeah. Yep. APA another top. Yep.
Nothing is better than the door. Nothing is better than the fucking door. And
I
one of the best
just saw the clip of the Rock
when the Rock walked around. You're like, come on, man. And like,
Rock.
And what's better too, it's like if you were around during that time and before, knowing the history between The Rock and Farouk, it makes it so much better considering like that whole storyline where like he got pushed out of the nation and The Rock was the one that led that. And it's like, and D'Lo's head fucking falling off. Like, like, like it's, I don't know. Even The Rock had to knock on the door. Everybody had to knock on the fucking
APA.
door.
Everyone respected him.
And it's funny too, because I was watching 6 Feet Under pod and they're just like fucking Ron and John decided that they want to take our poker games after every fucking event and was like, let's just fucking start early. He's like, they were really playing poker for money every time and they were really drinking every single time. Like none of that was an act. He's like, and then we'd go in and sit and drink some more and pony up some more money because that's what we did. We played poker every time. So he's like, they were legitimately doing like, Every time you saw them, it was all real. None of that was fake.
It's just such a fantastic gimmick. That's the thing is, of course they're going to talk shit with wrestling. That's what
Yeah,
they have to
yeah,
do. You have to do that.
yeah.
But that's the thing when
Moxie.
it comes to like Attitude Era and stuff like that. There was a different atmosphere with Attitude Era, like the APA, like certain things, which I feel like they're trying to kind of tune into a little bit more now.
Well,
But it's different.
what I think helped is half the click left. I really think that helped because when the click was there, the click was kind of making decisions for themselves, right? They
Mhm.
kind of did what they did in WCW, where it was Nash, it was
Oh,
Razor Ramon, it was
yeah.
Hulk, it was Triple H, it was
Mhm.
X Pac, it was Shawn Michaels. They were making all the decisions, and then when part of them left. And then it was like, okay, obviously Sean Waltman, Triple H, Shawn Michaels still had power, but it wasn't like there was 6 of them and they were the big megastars, right? So it was like they had to make room. And then no one could stop what Stone Cold became. Like
Yeah.
Stone Cold
Well,
just blew everything out. And then The
yes,
Rock. And it's like,
yes.
and I think half the click going, you lose Hulk, you lose Diesel, you lose Razor Ramon. That is 3 main eventers out the door. How do you replace them, right?
Mhm.
Obviously, Triple H was a main eventer. Shawn Michaels, one of the best wrestlers on the planet. Sean Waltman was a good mid carder, right? He was an intercontinental level guy, 1, 2, 3 kid. But they had to replace those, and then the Attitude Era was born. And the Monday Night Wars between best fucking friends made it amazing, right?
Yes, yes.
Because DX was best friends with those
Yep.
guys.
Yep,
So they
yep,
weren't
yep.
actually going to war. It was a
Mhm.
great gimmick, and they were fucking yucking it up, talking about it
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
giving each other ideas of what to do. So
Mhm.
it's like, it was such a perfect time for
Yeah.
the half the click to leave.
Yes.
And I think that's what changed wrestling in general.
Yes. Yeah, no,
So
100%. And I can see that. And I do want to hit this because Nate with a good comment here. They are without the unpredictability. You can book the top 2 guys. Same thing you've always been saying as well. But we used to get belt changes on SmackDown and Raw.
yes, we did.
Yes, 110%. And that's
Matches
something,
mattered.
yeah. And that's something they kind of like need to get to just because there have been some matches where like, the guy's not going to lose it, but they have gotten close to where like, oh shit, they might actually do it recently. But they need to actually pull the trigger on some of these things in order for it to be even more believable.
It was not surprising for you to see a 5-star match in a pay-per-view
Mhm,
where a guy wins a WWE World Championship
mhm.
to then get a redemption match and lose it on Monday night.
Yeah.
It
No,
was not
they
beneath them to do it.
they like their longer reigns now. And the thing is it's good for some things, but it's not good for other things. So I don't know. There's a lot that they can get into. And I mean, this is
There was a lot.
goes
There
on
was no
forever.
part-time wrestlers back then either.
Yeah.
I think that was also a big thing. You didn't have Brock Lesnar coming in and out. You didn't have The Rock coming in and out. You didn't have
Mhm,
Logan Paul,
mhm,
Bad Bunny. It was,
mhm.
nothing
But
against Logan and Bad Bunny. They're both actually Logan's really good. Bad Bunny's good for what he is, right? Um,
but he
Bad Bunny's
cares,
pretty good.
man.
I saw he
He
wants to kill
cares.
himself in the
He'll
fucking
fucking
ring.
he'll
Yeah.
he'll take
You
these
know,
huge bumps.
Pat McAfee when
Wild.
he gets in, Pat McAfee, like their guests are fine. They always had guests, but their guests were always, you knew they weren't wrestlers.
Mhm,
Guests are wrestlers now. They want to
mhm.
do it. Like Mike Tyson would come in, he wasn't a fucking wrestler. You knew
Yeah.
that. Like Donald Trump would come in, he wasn't a wrestler. But it
I'm
was like
he's a Hall of Famer.
you sit there, and it's like it's different now where they have part-time wrestlers. And it's not a surprise for a part-time wrestler to come and win the biggest belt in the business. And that's kind of, I think, fucks some things up a little bit,
Yeah.
where it wasn't just the guys in the locker room. And I think
Mhm,
that's gotta create resentment too,
mhm.
right?
Well,
So
see, that's the thing. So, like, and that's talking about the main event stuff, but I was also alluding to the fact, like I said, with the APA, with fucking Gold Dust, and with other things in the background, there are so many things that we can just draw immediately from memory from
yeah,
those
Booker
times.
T,
Just from
all of
watching.
his moments.
Exactly. But we could just draw those, and those aren't big main event things happening all the time, right? We don't necessarily have that right now.
We're getting there. We are getting there.
It seems like we are getting there, but what I'm saying is that that's what it's still missing is those types of things.
See what they're missing and what I know they've struggled with over the years. And God, we are becoming a wrestling fucking podcast right now. We're on for like 40 minutes, but
I know
what
we gotta.
we do have to wrap it up soon. But what they are missing and what they haven't had, and I know they always struggle with it, is they need to have a low belt. They need to have a cruiserweight. They need to have a light heavyweight again, because you're seeing there all these guys, and there's only so many little guys that can compete. Like
Mhm.
it's not like CM Punk is special, Seth Rollins is special. Like there's little guys that can compete, but
Rey
it's like,
Mysterio.
huh? Rey
Rey Mysterio.
Mysterio, right? And but the thing is, Rey Mysterio started off as a fucking cruiserweight
Oh,
over in
yeah.
WCW.
Yeah. No, I know.
You know, Chris
He has
Jericho,
fucking
you know,
perfect
wasn't a main
jump
event guy.
switch.
Like, that's the thing. It's like, so they need that again. They
Mhm.
need that lower weight, even if it's another fucking hardcore belt, right? Give these lower guys something to chase. Where, okay, Chad Gable would be a perfect cruiserweight champion right now. You give him the cruiserweight belt because you don't want to main event him yet. It's crowded up there, but he's super talented. Make the cruiserweight or the light heavyweight matter. Put that around his waist. Like, we know it's a secondary belt, but it could still be a belt that changes hands on Raw, that changes hands on SmackDown. So it's a championship match. Maybe you let him fucking headline it because it's a belt, right? Like, those are the things they need to bring back because you have these smaller wrestlers. They're all not fucking Gunther. They're all not these massive guys where, tell me it wouldn't have benefited Kofi when he was on a lull, right? Like, you know, Kofi's a little guy. He's not massive. Kofi could be in that division, right? Because they were doing jack shit with Kofi Kingston. You know, they gave him a championship. They told him to fuck off, and now he's been in obscurity. So
They gave
it's
him a
like,
championship, and then Brock Lesnar smashed him
exactly.
immediately.
And now where is he? Like, you know, he's great with New Day. He's a great ring guy and everything.
Mhm.
But okay, bring him down. Dude, everywhere else is crowded. Let him make the light heavyweight important. And you know what I mean? They used to do these things.
Yeah.
They've gotten away from it.
Yeah.
So we do have to wrap up soon.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got? So Nate coming in. WCW innovating again. Karl Malone looked good. Jericho was a main event guy in WCW. But he started off lower. He
Yeah.
didn't jump in right away as main event. He started off, I believe he started off as a United States champion.
Plus, he had to really fight for that shit in WCW. They didn't want to give him that at all.
Raw
At
is
fucking all.
Jericho. Anyway, the list of Jericho, Ralphus.
Oh my God, Ralphus.
The list of Jericho lives rent free in my head. The armbar. Like, I randomly will yell that at David, and he knows what I mean.
Yeah. Well, yeah. He corrected it as 1,001 hold because Jericho did have the list later. I don't know. Do you remember the list?
Yeah, I remember the fucking list.
Yeah. Where he's
Not
like,
the list
you
of
just
Jericho
made
lives 1,001 hole.
the list.
The list. I saw when they were doing the Raw versus SmackDown at one point, and he looks, and I forget what the goofy looking dude's name is, and he was like, "What the hell are you?"
Yeah.
You. He's like, "You made the list," and, dude.
And everyone's like, no.
Here's the thing, though. It's like you're watching it, and who was he yelling at first? Because it was him and KO. KO was yelling at oh my God, it's SmackDown. But I just remember watching it, and Dean Ambrose is standing next to whoever he yells at, made the list, and Dean Ambrose can't help but laugh. You see Roman Reigns is laughing. Like, they are all breaking because he is such a fucking idiot with the way he emphasizes things.
That's just the way wrestling is. Getting some of the dumbest things to just get over and just have fun with it. Like, that type of shit.
Dude,
really works.
Every time Miz set up a talk show, you knew it was going to get fucking destroyed. You knew it was going to happen, but you ran with it because Miz is a dumb motherfucker. Like, he's willing to do this dumb shit. But again, it gets people over because you know what? Miz went from being easily the most hated guy amongst the wrestlers and the fans to being a guy that every time he goes out there, you will enjoy. You will enjoy. You don't have to like him, but you will enjoy a segment.
Yep.
I mean, it is crazy. Jericho is a low-key Rushmore candidate, 100%.
He is. With a lot of people, it's going to be a tough argue, but I can take that. I'm more receptive. I love Chris Jericho.
The first
I'm more receptive to that
ever undisputed WWE champion was Chris Jericho.
Yep.
He unified both
Rock
brands
and Stone Cold.
Beat them both.
He
unified both brands in one of the greatest matches. I talked about the fucking other matches I talked about. I forgot about that match because watching him pull out the fucking lion salt like 9 times, that motherfucker flipped. And the walls of Jericho and everything he had to do, and all of them just hitting finishers. I think he rock bottomed fucking Stone Cold or something stupid. Like, he did some ridiculous. Like, that whole match was amazing.
I get some WWE Vault stuff on YouTube every so often, and depending on what I'm doing, I'll just watch it. And I think it was Elimination Chamber. I can't remember. It might have been
the original Elimination Chamber. I think is still the best one.
Oh, I think it is. It is. But it was one with Jericho in it, and he hit a lion salt, and I forgot how fucking far this man could get from the ropes to another, basically the other side of the
He
ring.
used to be able to go basically the other
That
side.
man, it wasn't in the middle of the ring. A lot of times, but man can get all the way to the other side. It's insane how fucking far he could.
I
get
don't know.
there.
Nothing was better than watching Kirk Angel do the fucking
Yeah.
moonsault off the
Yes.
top rope. It's a Kirk
Yes.
Angel moonsault.
Yes, but yeah, no.
But there's like, I say Kirk Angel because Jericho called him Kirk
Yeah,
Angel.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
and the thing is, the thing, like, this Jericho thing, when he called people stupid idiots, the way he said, you stupid, idiots.
idiot.
It sounded like Ren. I'm pretty sure he went Ren from Ren and Stimpy, and he tapped into his inner Canadian Ren.
Yeah.
And when the way he, like, I don't think he really says again like that, but he emphasizes never be the same again.
Yeah.
Like, it's just all the shit that Jericho did. Yes, in terms of total package, his promo skills and his in-ring skills, it is hard to deny. And I was watching a clip from Broken Skull, and he was talking to Stone Cold, and he was saying his first storyline in WWE was to fucking wrestle China.
Yeah, yes.
He's like, that was his, he's like, and she was awful. Like, she was so stiff, and he's like, and they wanted me to make her look good because they were setting her up for the King of the Ring win. And he's like, and that was my first assignment. My first fucking feud was with China. And he's like, and here, Paul is already a big shot in the fucking company, so I can't fuck him over with his girlfriend. Like, it was good just watching him. He's like, rest in peace, but she was terrible.
Yeah. No, he's right. He's completely right.
Oh my God. Imagine debuting against The
Let's
Rock and
finish
doing
this
it
up
well.
because we can
It
go
was- yes.
forever.
Another attitude / aggression team, Benoit and Jericho.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you will never, ever. Okay, sorry, we can be fucking an old school wrestling podcast all we want. You need to do your show with Dapo. I'm calling Dapo out live on a fucking podcast.
He's not going to come on.
He's such a bitch. Anyway, all right, we're getting out of here. Oh, whoa. Why does it keep doing that? We appreciate everyone as always for watching. What was going to be like a half an hour show became a wrestling show for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with that. I didn't even watch Raw and I was able to talk about it. So, but all right, we're getting out of here. We appreciate everyone for watching wherever you watch from: X, Rumble, Kick, YouTube, Facebook, all the good stuff. Do your due diligence there. If you're listening to this in podcast form, give us a good review. Dave, you said we might be back tomorrow night.
I should be back.
Cool. All right. So we'll see everyone. So long, y'all. Bye.
Yeah.